Welcome to Battle Truth, in my point of view. I don't know you, so I'm not a hater. I can only give you the facts that's written on these papers. And since we have no dealing, this court can care less about your feelings. I'm the Honorable Malachi Markilius, your presiding judge, chairman and spokesperson for the One United Front. You are my witnesses and jury. You may be seated. Court is now in session. Let's talk about it. So, over the past few days, we saw the Piper Boy and Young Buck situation. A lot of people talking about it over the internet. I gave y'all my breakdown on it. At the time I'm giving y'all my breakdown on this thing, lo and behold, it takes a turn for probably the worse. Lex Luthor, who have a history of going back and forth with Piper Boy, sends Young Buck Piper Boy's address, where he lived and reside. It's not good. That's not good at all. And this stuff is out of order. It's out of pocket. On every side. On every side. It's out of pocket. And this is very dangerous. And this is exactly what I was saying in my last video of why I didn't like the confrontation of Young Buck and Piper Boy in that grocery store when they both from the same city. This is where clout chasing can go wrong. Because at the end of the day, this dude is known for being reckless about that life and have a crew behind him that's willing to go out, handle that business. It's YouTube videos of this man doing that type of stuff, choking guys in front of the police, pulling up on guys at they video shoots, in the street traffic and looking for cook up boss them. Like, where you at? We pulling up, you know what I'm saying? See, here's the thing. 50 beefing with Young Buck is entirely different with just a blogger trying to beef with this brother. You talking about 50 who's a multi-millionaire dude who, even though, and here's another thing, even though him and Young Buck may have a little tension towards each other, make no mistake about it, it's still love there in some type of way because they were once together and was putting in work together and on other people when they was together. Okay? So make no mistake about it. There's still some type of love there. Okay? And when you got money like that, when it comes to 50, when you got, shut up! Stupid dog. When you got money like that with 50, war is different. War is different. You just can't pull up at 50 house. You just can't pull up at 50 house. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, hold on a second. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Man, get on my nerves. Stop pissing on my dang on floor. My bad. Stupid dog had to kick the cage to shake her. Anyway, like I said, you ain't just pulling up at 50 house. 50 got paper. You ain't just pulling up at his house like that. Paper, security, whatever. When you got paper like that and you out here putting that negative energy out here like that, you know you got to surround yourself with security and some type of army, man. You just can't put that out there like that. And this situation right here is worse. because the more attention this thing get, I just saw Star do a show on this yesterday talking about is Young Buck going to have to hurt somebody. That's how he titled his show. Is Young Buck going to have to hurt somebody? Because let me tell you something. Some things you just can't let slide when you got that street mentality and you in that street like that. To let some random dude walk up to you, threaten you in front of your woman, disrespect you, then everybody talking about it. 50 put it out there. And this what's dangerous about this thing too, man. How, like I said, and I knew it. I just know things. I saw another person do a blog on this thing. And let me just show you how it was titled. It was titled, Thug pulls up on Young Buck with a gun. G checks Young Buck for 50 cents. Thug pulls up with a gun. G checks Young Buck for 50 cents. Thug with a gun. See how that go? See how this internet can get reckless and just run loose? That's what it's titled, talking about Piper Boy. A thug with a gun pulls up on Young Buck. G checks him for 50 cents. And this thing got over 10,000 views and going. So if you Young Buck and he a Crip and his guys now and they're in Nashville, that's not just a blow to Buck. That's also a disrespect to the team and crew. When you in the streets living that lifestyle, like, no, that's one of ours. No, they ain't finna just be making it seem like we some soft dude that any dude can put up on us and talk crazy. Like, what? See what I'm saying? And then when you got teams, you have a chain of command. You got the top dogs. You got your so-called nobles. Then you got the dudes that just want to be in, that's willing to do whatever it takes just to be in, to sit at the cool table, who willing to do anything. And already before this, they had this man addressed over the internet. Then Lex Luthor, I'm just going to say allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly for protection reasons. So Lex Luthor allegedly gives Young Buck Piper Boy home address where he resides at, allegedly. And Young Buck tweet him back and say, thank you. Thank you. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. And y'all in the same city? That ain't good at all. You don't know where it might be coming from, who it might be. 9 times out of 10, you won't see Young Buck. Pretty sure they move different and smarter than that. So now you're looking over your shoulder every rip. If you're not, you really a sitting duck. That ain't cool. That ain't cool at all. And that's the dangerousness of how I know that this thing somehow was going to backfire. I know that I knew this was going to backfire. Because the thing about Piper Boy, you a personality. You're a personality too. And you have a lot of enemies out here that hate you, that don't like you at all. Buck is, regardless of if Buck been with a transsexual or not, he more respected and liked than you are. And he still got a fan base that support him and people that's in denial of what he did. That would go out of their way just to say, oh, Young Buck reached out to me, he cool, you know what I'm saying? I do it. That ain't good. And you got video out here. I'm just gonna keep it real, Piper Boy. You got video out here, fam. of you doing some crazy, strange things. They already got that shipping around. They already sending that to Star and them and everybody. So you're not going to get the impact credit of what you think you're going to get when they release them videotapes of you in that female underwear with that wig on, fam. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt everything you said to Young Buck. Everything. That's gonna hurt it all. And I'm already hearing it, knowing they sent that stuff out already. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. And this man just gave them people your address, and you in the same, you in the same city. You're in the same city as this man. That ain't good. That ain't good at all, bro. That ain't good at all. That was dirty too, man. That was real dirty. That was dirty. But when you got enemies like that, it ain't fair. It ain't fair. I mean, Lex Luthor playing the game like an enemy plays. That's what an enemy does. That's your enemy. What's that saying? An enemy to my enemy is a friend of mine. Luthor like, that's we. All right. Allegedly gave Young Buck that man address of where he lived. That ain't cool. That ain't good. But again, when you have an enemy and you haven't settled your differences with that person, he playing by the rules of how an enemy play by. He playing by the rules of how an enemy play by. That's dirty, but I can't even say it's wrong when that's your enemy. And that's the history y'all have. When y'all was supposed to met up and fought with each other on numerous other occasions, I'm hearing allegedly. Y'all know the depths of this. I don't. All I know is, bro, I'm just keeping it 100, man. Courage and stupidity is two different things. Courage and stupidity is two different things. It's stupid to not think that it's possible that anything can happen to you. That's stupid. Having courage is being able to stand strong in the midst of fear to do the right thing. To do the right thing. This right here was wrong all the way around the board. And it seemed like it's karma reversing. Seemed like it's karma reversing. And this is not good. When your actions could put your family and loved ones in harm's way because of stupidity and foolishness. You have to be mindful of your actions. You have to know what you're involved in and putting your family in harm's way. For what risk? It's not good. It's not good at all. Lex Luthor, I mean, what could, again, I can't even say the man wrong in what he doing. When you have an enemy, when y'all are enemies. I don't know how it started. All I know is allegedly y'all supposed to be enemies. I don't know who started it, who's to blame for it. I just know y'all supposed to be enemies. So it's not surprising that your enemy reached out to another brother that's an enemy of yours. An enemy to my enemy is a friend of mine. I'm telling you, fam, hey, I hope nothing happens to you, brother, or your family and loved ones. I hate to see even brothers in these situations. But we have to be mindful of our actions and the things that we do. The things that we do that leads to these type of situations and conditions. And that's just real talk. And provoking and poking and doing things to add it on makes it worse for you, man. Makes it worse for you. People out here is entirely different. People out here is entirely different. Just because, let me tell you something. If you ain't never been in a line of fire, if you ain't never dumped that, see, it's easy to have pistols, to talk about pistols, or I own a pistol, or I'm legally registered to have a legal firearm. That's entirely different than shooting at somebody. That's entirely different than being involved in something you've never been involved with before. That's entirely different. In fact, that even makes it even more dangerous for you because people know what you got and they know when they come and they can't talk to you, they got to shoot first because they know what you got. That even makes it worse. I can't talk to him. He got a pistol on him. We got to dump soon. We see him. We got to dump on sight. Shoot first, ask question later. Ain't nobody finna come talk to you knowing you known for having a pistol. Who talk for what? That man armed. That's crazy, man. It's not good. It's not good for neither one. That's dirty. That's dirty, man. It's a dirty game, man. From all sides. It's crazy, man. You know what? I'm basically at a loss of words. When I'm saying that, I'm like, man, that's crazy. They gave that man home address where he lived and lay his head at. But when you got an enemy, those are the rules that enemies play. And it's not fair. That's why this stuff is horrible, man. More brothers end up going to prison or in the graveyard because of stupidity, because of foolishness. Because of foolishness. I hate this new era that we live in, the clout chasing, where people go out of their way just to do anything, to get put on, to be known, to be accepted, to just find some means of just being on top by any means. And we have witnessed a lot of people lose their lives behind that and end up going to prison. Only to find out on this road of trying to be popular, famous, and successful, it actually could end your life. Either way you look at this, it's a lose-lose situation. Either way you look at it. And nothing was gained from it. And the sad thing about it, this won't even be the last. This won't even be the last. The internet, the devil's weapon. That he's claiming a lot of lives in this, destroying families in this. And people got to really, really be more mindful of the things they say and do. And like I said, the message is not just for you. It's also for me. And it's your boy Battle Truth. It ain't my judgment that's in question. It's yours. What do y'all think about that? Lex Luthor allegedly giving... Is it Lex Luger or Lex Luthor? I don't know. I don't care. I'm just saying. Giving Young Buck Piper Boy's address. Wow. And this your boy Battle Truth. It ain't my judgment that's in question. It's yours.